we are rarely not fighting. Like, we usually have opposing views. And I'm so weirded out by how much we're agreeing on JoJo right now. It scares me.
I think our minds are fusing. Welcome to episode 30 of the Amb Ant Podcast. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Amber.
And today we are talking about JoJo no Kimyo na Boken Part 5, Ogon no Kaze, episodes 15 through 17.
Yes.
How was that?
Very good. I have no complaints.
Oh, it was really spot on.
Yes, otherwise known as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind.
Wait, you should try saying it.
I always say it anyways. JoJo no Kimyo na Boken, Part 5. Part 5, I don't know. Ogon no Kaze. Yes, moving on.
I think it's better if you say the part 5 in Japanese, you know?
It's like,
you know how sometimes they speak Japanese for like English words?
Well, yeah, radio, pasokon,
yeah,
personal
funny.
Computer, but yes.
Yeah, but here's where we have to tell them to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more podcast reviews like these.
Thank you. So, how were these these few episodes for you? Excuse me.
How were
Yeah, can I speak?
Yeah. We kind of covered the, the Grateful Dead fight, which was amazing. And then we covered the one episode after that, which is Babyface.
Yes.
Which I didn't like at all, but Grateful Dead was amazing.
I mean, Babyface, we haven't seen the conclusion yet. But yeah, I feel you. First of all, oh, yeah, we should go in chronological order. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Babyface yet. I definitely agree. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, but I really liked how, I guess, Beach Boy ended up being the main threat, I guess, because I guess if you turn slightly older, or like you turn a lot older, it's not really too much of a threat. It seemed like the characters could still like move and like do their stuff.
Yeah,
for the most part.
It's just painful and difficult.
It's just painful and like, yeah, it's just like you're old. Like, and then you can't really move fast. But it just, I really liked how, Mista kind of lost there. It really threw me off for a loop, you know, because I was just like, wow, how did he lose? Like, aren't the main character, like, up to this point, I feel like every single JoJo character has won that I've seen.
But you see, in the latter half of all the JoJo parts, bad things happen. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like that there is that kind of threat that is always there. So it's not like, oh, you feel too comfortable and too safe and secure. Yeah. Like that would be kind of boring after a while. So yeah. I like that.
Yeah, that does it for me. I think that makes it really good because now you're just wondering like who's going to die next, like who is going to lose. Like we don't know at this point. Like it's up in the air, and these fights are so crazy that like anything can happen, and it seems very like these fights seem very close. So it can be decided at a moment's notice. So you want to keep on like paying attention. You want to keep on watching just so you can know what happens next.
Yeah, and it's very, like, 2v2. It's like, you know, sometimes when the main character is too strong, it's like, oh yeah, one person can take on two guys, no problem. But like this, it's like, without Mista, like, Bucciarati wouldn't be able to know about, like, the people's, like, abilities and whatnot, because, like, Mista's stand went over to tell Bucciarati and also give him the ice. And at the same time, without Bucciarati, Mista would have just, like, died, and, like, everyone would have died.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just definitely, like, the amount of teamwork and, like, the very, very unique ways that they're using their stands, like, their powers, basically, to, like, essentially fight. It's like, that's kind of crazy. Like how the guy turned himself old in order to get a gank off on Mista, basically surprise attack him. It's like I wouldn't have expected that. That was crazy. Because like, wouldn't you not want to turn yourself old? You would just have such a disadvantage, but he turned it into an advantage and surprised the dude. So essentially, like, and then Bucciarati, like, I would assume, like, before seeing this, that, like, turning things into zippers, like, when he fought Giorno in the beginning, that it wasn't that impressive. Like, I just felt like, oh, Giorno got zipped a bunch of times. Like, oh, you know, cool. Like, he's just gonna win. But, it ended up looking really impressive.
He dodged, like, attacks by unzipping himself, too. Yeah, that was really cool.
Crazy. So, yeah, the Beach Boy versus Bucciarati, I think that was my favorite part.
Yeah, I kind of agree that, like, in the beginning, it was like, oh, Beach Boys stand looked kind of lame. It's just like a hook and like a, you know, fishing thing. And then I was like, oh, that's stupid. But actually, it turned out to be so violent and everything. Because, like, the thing is, like, the Grateful Dead just seemed like more intense body horror. Yeah. Because we saw, like, Naranja basically just turn old all of a sudden and, like, his teeth is, like, falling out and everything. And I was like, oh my god. But then we didn't really, like, think about, like, oh, Beach Boy could actually be useful the way that it did eventually. And I really like how the bad people actually have personalities as well, because it's like, oh yeah, the relationship between the Aniki, like the older brother person, like, what's his name again? What the Grateful Dead? Prosciutto.
Yeah,
like
Prosciutto.
Yeah, like he was kind of like criticizing what's his name again, Pesci, but at the same time like trying to like encourage him to have more confidence in his own powers and whatnot. And then he even like said that like, oh, his power could be stronger and so like useful and whatnot. And I was like, oh, like, you know, you kind of root for them also during the fight. So then I really like that rather than like, oh yeah, all the bad guys are bad and I do not even care about them because they don't have any personality other than just being against the main people. And then, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely makes sense. Like, you gave everyone kind of a cool backstory, so it just kind of flows better. Like, if you just kind of, I don't know, like in a lot of isekais, I would say, like, they kind of handle a lot of mob characters, just like randoms that, like, you just, like, destroy them real quick and then main character looks really cool. This is definitely not that. The bad guys are very, very powerful and they have a lot of unique ways of attacking, so it just seems like a very fair fight a lot of the time. Beach Boy's ability, now that I think back to it, like, if he had more,
training.
He had more, like, training or, like, confidence in himself even, like, from the beginning, they're just all dead. Like, he just goes straight for their heart, they're just destroyed. Yeah. Like, when Bucciarati had to, like, zip himself up and, like, zip his heart, it's just like, wow, he was about to die.
Yeah, and but then, that was so creative that he unzipped his heart to, like, stop it from beating, and I was like...
Yeah, stop it from beating, yeah. And I was like, wow, like, that's, you know, that's what you gotta do when he could just have a line and, like, it instantly kill you. It's like, what's going on? That's some crazy, like, power right there.
Yeah, so. He can sense things from that line, too. It's like he can sense the pulse, he can sense which hand it's in and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, going off about... Sorry, did you want to say something?
No, I mean, it's just... I was just gonna say, like, it's literally, like, the craziest thing I've seen. It's very bizarre.
Like, this is the best fight, I feel like, by far, to me, in the whole of Part 5. I don't want to say the whole of JoJo yet, but yeah, I can't think of anything that I like better than this fight. And that's why I also cosplayed Bucciarati and, like, did the pose of, like, arrivederci, like, that part at the end of the fight. But yeah, going back to, like, what you said about, like, them having cool backstories, I feel like this was handled way better than, you know, Naranja's fight when it's like, oh, you just flash back to both people's backstories. That was,
right.
Like, it's too much. It's, like, I don't care enough about, like, oh yeah, how they grew up and whatnot. I just want to know enough so then I understand their personalities and I can connect with them on an emotional level. But I don't need to know like a full-on like flashback thing. And that would be too extra. And then this was just like the good balance of knowing who they are, but not needing to like go through the redundancy of all that. So then the pacing of the fight was way better than Naranja's fight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it just seems like the way they're doing these fights, we kind of get like these fights specifically, the ones we watched just now. It seems like they're not force-feeding you the backstory like in a form of a flashback, because then you just kind of don't, like, you just want to go back to the fight. Here you want to get bits and pieces, edible like pieces that you can kind of digest while the fight is going on, to kind of give it an overall like either increased stakes, like this is the stake of his entire like confidence or whatever, like he's gonna, like Beach Boy is regaining his confidence, he's like going for the kill now, like he's just completely transforming during the course of the fight, and that's kind of crazy. It's like like low-key reminds me of you know how in Dragon Ball they kind of like Frieza powers up and stuff, you know, like originally on Namek and then now Resurrection of Frieza, like he just kind of transforms during the fight and like kind of becomes stronger during the fight. Same with like everybody else. So like, so you just kind of get that kind of effect. Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to be like Frieza, who just like, you know, he powered up during the fight. Yeah. But then it's like, oh, we don't see him. And then he's even stronger the next time we see him. But then like this, we see the natural progression of why he became stronger. It's like he saw the resolve of his like big brother in that way. I don't think they're actually big brother. What would you call it? Like Aniki.
They don't look like it.
Yeah, they're not
they
actually.
Call it Aniki.
Yeah, Aniki, just like big bro, right? It's like the bigger brother kind of told him that he shouldn't just kind of like take back his stand whenever he feels threatened, because that's how he lost to Mista originally, because like Mista was going to get him, and then like his hook, even though it was already in Mista's body, he had to like just, you know, save himself, and like he took out the like Beach Boy from Mista's body. And then we saw like the big brother actually doing that in action by like, even though he like fell from the train and is stuck between the train and like the wheels, like he's literally dying and bleeding to death, like inside the train. But then like he never even in 1 second, like released his stand powers. So then like everyone was still aging. And then it's almost like heroic in a way, even though they're the bad guys. But then it's like his resolve was so strong that it was like admirable. So, yeah,
I feel like we don't see that very much. It's generally like when the bad guys are like, you know, all bad, like they're all bad, like they have, like they're all like one way, they have like they're not really respectable, but you can kind of respect that. Like he like stuck to what he said, you know, he kind of, you know, his character was consistent. So then it kind of just you know, when he said to, you know, don't let go, like, you have to, you know, see the mission through. And even in that, like, kind of dire situation, when he fell off the train, going 160 kilometers per hour, it's like, he's about to die, but he's gonna hold on.
Cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Yeah, I felt like.
Yeah, and this kind of like, I want to go back to the first episode of Kongming that we've done, like, you remember how I was complaining about how like in like Kome or Kongming, in that anime, all the bad people who were kind of against the main girl singer, it's like, oh yeah, it's because they didn't do their vocal training enough, and then you automatically disrespect that rival. It's like, oh yeah, like obviously our main character should win because they are just like not putting in the same amount of hard work. And then the other dude is like, oh yeah, he didn't believe in real music and then he turned to EDM. That's why he's going to lose, because his music now just doesn't have soul, right? And then that is so cheap because it's like, oh, it's a cheap way of making us root for the main character always, rather than like kind of like having us believe that this is a close fight, having us believe that they both are very honorable in their own missions. It's like, no, it's like, oh, you just don't care about the bad person. You don't even remember their names. But yeah, like this is just the opposite of that. And that's why I respect JoJo so much more.
Yeah, these two, like, I don't know, these few fights of season 5 definitely have kind of skyrocketed, like, because you know how before I was like, do we want to watch JoJo? I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't. But then now I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. This is really crazy. Like, they're on a mission, you know, it seems like it's kind of a hero's journey type thing. Like, it's so convoluted in a sense because they want to help the boss's daughter, but they also want to, like, kill the boss. So then it's like, they want to help him because by helping him, they get closer to killing him, which is not helping them. So, so, you know, like who knows? But, it's just, it gets kind of convoluted. And like, they're, like, in a sense, they should be teaming up with these traitors to the organization.
Right.
And
I keep on thinking about that too.
They're doing literally the opposite. They're like trying to fight off the traitors of the organization in order to kill the boss and become traitors of the organization.
Yeah, so basically gain trust from the boss so then they can get closer and then kill him.
Yeah. So they're actually like, they're doing some very deceptive stuff, but in a sense, it kind of works. And, you know, it's just enjoyable to watch.
And it makes sense because, like, these traitors, they don't have the same values, right? These traders, they want to get the drugs. Like, I mean, if we think about part 5 of JoJo, at its core, it's just the anti-drug campaign, right? So then it's like, you know, like Bucciarati and Giorno, they're trying to kill the boss so then they can stop drug trade in Italy. But then these people, like the assassin team, I think, right? Like the people who are against them right now, it's like, their mission is to kill the boss and get the drugs that, like, the sources that the boss is getting the drugs from, and then they can control the drug trade of Italy. So then I guess it is just better to be against these people for now because they will eventually be enemies anyways. So then it's like, oh, it somewhat makes sense. But yeah.
Okay, true. Yeah, like for sure. It's, you know, they're all going to be traitors at some point, but yeah, they want to stop. I thought it was just stop the drug trade to kids. I thought it was just to kids.
I thought it was just like stop the drug trade, like, to everyone. I mean, yeah, like to kids mainly, but then it's like when they were kind of like talking to the old lady in the beginning, like few episodes of the show, it's like the old lady was like, oh yeah, my son, he's changed so much after he's done drugs. Well, we don't really know like his age, but then if you judge from the old lady's age who looks 60 to 70, I mean, you know, the person should be an adult. But obviously this is like thinking and analyzing way too much into the situation. But yeah, like it's just, they are the heroes and then they have this like good mission of cleaning up the drugs in Italy. But yeah.
Okay. No, I can see that. No, but you know, it's just it's a really good story. It's yeah, part 5 is definitely somewhat of a masterpiece. However, I think I don't like episode 17 as much. I was really confused as to like this guy's stance seems incredibly OP. And then Giorno kind of counters it by like evolving his gold experience. Like golden experience.
Evolve it. Like, he learned to use it in the way that Babyface was basically doing, or like the opposite of what Babyface was doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed incredibly OP because like Bucciarati, who just saw like Bucciarati was smurfing it. Like he was like he dealt with prosciutto, and then he also dealt with Pessy, and then like, oh, you know, like, he's just smurfing it. And then he just gets taken out by somebody's remote controlled, not even like remote controlled, but like just someone's stand who like, he just told to like, you know, go hunt him down, and then just taken down instantly. And I'm like, wow. The power scaling is crazy here, no?
However, I disagree because I feel like for JoJo, it's just very specific and like everyone's powers are very specific. So then like one counters the other. And then if you don't know the secret or like how the other person's stands work, even if you're very strong, it just doesn't work. Even if like the opponent is very weak, but then like his stand, you just don't know how it works. And then like he can use it in a more creative way, you can still lose. Like, I like that about it. It's like, it's not definitive, like, oh, he is strong, and then that person is weak. It's more like, this stand works better on this stand, and if, like, he used this stand in this way, he can kind of counter the other thing. And, yeah. So it's not really
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like a, you know, I can see that. It's like a rock, paper, scissors situation.
Exactly.
I just feel like I didn't like the, I don't know, just got instantly taken out. And I was really confused. I was like, oh, okay. And then, like, Giorno is just 1v1ing this, like, this, like, creature, and then he probably wins, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's a JoJo, so he probably will win. It's like the Jo Bros, it's like maybe they'll lose, but the JoJo is the JoJo, basically.
It's true, JoJo is the JoJo.
Indeed. But, like, I mean, I don't really like this fight either. I feel like there is a huge part of me not liking Giorno as a character. Because he's so plain. Like, he is the most, like, I don't even know how to describe him. It's like, he's just a person. I guess that's like, oh, that sounds very deep. It's like, he's just a person with ordinary, like, everything kind of thing, but then like strong resolve to stop the drug trade, that's all. But it's like that like, makes it and I did like Babyface in the beginning because like it kind of feels like, again, body horror in some way. It's like it kind of rapes the woman to produce a stand that can like track down people and like kill people, and then also he just suddenly, instantly killed the woman after, like, he was, like, given birth. And it's like, that all seems kind of seductive in a way that's, like, interesting. But then, first of all, I don't like the creature's design, because it was just not aesthetically pleasing to look at. And also, I don't like how he instantly just, like, makes people into, like, tiny cubes and become inanimate objects. It's too fast and too random. It's basically what you said. It's too OP. It's like, oh yeah, like, he touches you and then you just disintegrate into tiny cubes and you're a goner in 1 second.
He could easily just choose to kill Trish and, like, kill Bucciarati in that sense, because if you just cube them, then they're gone. And that's it. The story just ends there. He could have just done that to Giorno before he figured it out. He was way too fast. Like, the thing was so fast. I get that you want to shock everyone. You want to, like, you want to be like, oh, this guy's unbeatable. How will they prevail? And then, but like, you just show too much. Like, he's just way too fast. It's not consistent. Like, he gets, somehow Giorno is able to keep up later, but like, it's just the speed. Like, how did Giorno become that fast at, like, using his, you know, stand, where isn't, in the past we saw his stand was, like, quite slow, I don't know. And then, like, Babyface was, like, so fast at killing everyone. And Bucciarati is known for his speed as well, so it's like, he already dealt with the fastest dude on the team. Now he's, like, you know, struggling against Giorno. It just doesn't, stuff like that, I'm just like kind of questioning.
Agreed.
Okay, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of plot device. It's like just so we can see Giorno shine and also evolve his stand, because this kind of becomes like his signature thing to kind of regenerate body parts and be able to even just heal people because like he can just regenerate things, right? But yeah, like I like that, and I like that it becomes quite important later on in the story as well. But then it's a little forced because it's just like Babyface instantly just made people disappear. But then when he was like facing Giorno, like he only made his throat disappear. Like shouldn't he have had the chance to like he could have just easily... like, oh no.
Yeah. Everything's fine. Like what about his entire face? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Disintegrated his head. Right there and then.
Yeah.
He had a clear shot on him too. Disintegrate the entire throat. Then he can't breathe. You know, it's just like these things are I don't know. You know?
Yeah, I mean it just had to be so then like Giorno saw that his power is to make people disintegrate and then recombine into inanimate objects, and then his power is to make like objects become live things that are alive. So then like he was like, oh yeah, I learned by reversing your logic. And I guess that was pretty cool because it was like, oh, he can just regenerate an eye. But yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The result was good, but how we got there was just contrived.
It was not the other fight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
sure.
it was about time like that we saw Giorno do something again. Because it's been a while, man. My boy Giorno hasn't had some good times since like way back. I don't know, 5 episodes ago.
I don't even really remember like what he did. Even for like the man, I was gonna say Man in the Mirror. But then did he really do anything other than he did the snake thing, which is actually pretty random and cool. Like producing a snake that had the antibodies to the toxin that Purple Haze created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very crazy stuff. Very bizarre stuff. But it worked. So my boy Giorno, not that useful. But we'll see. Like maybe he will become useful later, and you know maybe he will start carrying his weight.
Don't have too much hope. I stand by like my favorite characters are Bucciarati and Mista. Because I just feel like Giorno, again, I think I've said it like in the previous episodes, he's like the worst JoJo. Like he doesn't do much because like his team members shine brighter than him, I want to say.
Okay. So like Giorno being the worst JoJo, and season 5 being your favorite,
the best.
would you prefer the JoJo to not have too much impact then?
No, that's not true. Because like my second favorite is probably part 2, I want to say. And then like yeah, he's so good. And then it's like because I loved Joseph, like that's what made part 2 good. So it's different. But I would just say that we don't have to center around JoJo as the main character, like Giorno as the main character. It's like, oh, if this story were to just like kind of like give equal screen time to all the members of Bucciarati's team, it would have been fine, kind of thing. I just don't need to feel like, oh, Giorno is the chosen one who will save us all, kind of thing. Oh, no spoilers, but kind of, yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I just, I think that definitely, like in every group, you know, certain characters are going to just get more. So like One Piece, you just focus on the big 3, really.
Yeah.
You know.
Not even that much
Luffy.
to Sanji.
Not even that much to Sanji. Everybody loves Zoro, though. So
I
you
love
just see Zoro cutting things out. It's amazing, yeah. So then you just, you know, give Luffy a lot of screen time, give like Zoro a lot of screen time. Even Usopp, you give Usopp a decent amount. Sometimes.
Depends, yeah.
But depending on the situation, basically everybody else gets nothing.
True.
Barely, yeah. So.
Choppa is like the most useless, no offense. Other than, like,
he's
when
just...
he goes berserk.
Yeah, he's just useless still. Even then, not very useful. He just becomes big, but like you already know that Zoro's stronger than that kid. Even when he's big, so it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah.
The issue with One Piece is that the size doesn't matter. Whereas in real life size does matter.
Oh, you mean like fighting, like actual size?
Yeah. You have like these really small characters taking down really monsters, so then you just get a sense that size doesn't matter.
Luffy is tiny.
Yeah. Just takes down Kaido just like that.
I didn't like third gear, like gear 3. Like, oh yeah, he became bigger, but I guess with your logic, it's like size does matter when it comes to fighting. But then
no, I was like size doesn't matter, but
no, the size doesn't matter in One Piece usually. But yeah,
who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, but basically here, like, you're just giving almost 0 screen time to, like, Giorno. You're just giving it all to Bucciarati, giving it all to Mister. Because this is, like, the, 3rd or 4th fight that Mister just has a big role in.
He's so good.
Yeah, it's only been, like, I don't know, we're only, like, 17 episodes in, or what? And he's fought, like, 4 times
But,
now.
like, he's so good. It's, like, first of all, his personality. Like, oh, really God. Good. I cannot speak today, but then, excuse me, I don't know why. But his personality is just, like, so chill. And he's always, like, prioritizing, like, eating lunch. Like, eating the best, like, salami and, like, sharing the salami between the bullets. It was so good.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then,
so
like...
hungry right now.
I'm sorry. And also, I like how, like, he just puts his bullets in his hat, and then it's so cool whenever he reloads by, like, tipping his head, and then the gun just automatically reloads. That's so cool. And also, like, when Pesci just got attacked by the bullets and haven't seen Mista yet, and, like, he only, like, showed his hand through the opening of the door, and I was like... There is no cooler character in all of anime. It is so good. And his waist, his abs, like, he's the perfect character, period. Anyways.
Oh. Okay. Alright.
Like, I love Misa so much.
True.
Just chill and also good at what he does, I think. Somewhat.
Looks like, I got some competition, eh?
Nah. Okay. You're no competition to me, stop. But it's okay.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
It is fine. JoJo is just... I feel like part 5, all of the fights are so well thought out. And, like, the pacing of, like, oh yeah, things are just happening within these, like, few weeks. That's just, it makes it so intense and, like, so, you want to, like, cherish every moment of, like, what is happening. So it's like, the perfect part.
Yeah. No, I think part 5 is just, it's been really good so far. I'm hyped. So.
I hope the ending doesn't disappoint you. I'm actually afraid.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't like the ending. That's why I'm like, but it is still very good.
All right. So, I mean, I guess we'll leave it at that for now.
But I want to point out. What? I want to point out, this is like the most peaceful episode that we've ever done. Like,
is it?
Yeah, it's like we're rarely not fighting. Like, we usually have opposing views. And I'm so weirded out by how much we're agreeing on JoJo right now. It scares me.
I think our minds are fusing, like, because like we interact a lot, right? So we kind of just start thinking the same things. Yeah, it's like you can't speak because I normally am such a troll, like with my words, that you're just like trying, like you're trying to say that. But then you realize we're on podcast, so you can't say weird things. So then you're like, what am I supposed to say instead?
Yeah, my brain is just glitching today.
It's glitching, yeah. It's like you're being confused. Some good stuff, though.
The merger is happening, but it's okay.
Well, it's the merger.
JoJo's great.
Please like, comment, and subscribe if you have made it this far.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
We will reply to you.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.